Get on live real quick because I haven't been on live in a few days. I want to talk to y'all about something. I want to talk to you guys about fight or flight. But before I do that, look what I got. So let's apply this on stream so niggas know I'm having my way. All right? They're not gonna keep playing with me. I have Wood. What's up with you, man? What's good with you, Slim? How you feeling? Yeah, I had to put that little chapstick on to let y'all know. Okay? Wholesome human beings out here. Okay, so, but today I have a topic. The video is called, Man, I'm doing all right. I'm doing blessed. I'm great. I'm feeling up. I'm feeling uppity. I want to talk to y'all today about fight or flight. Fight or flight, right? So the first thing we gotta understand when it comes to this topic is Pepsi Cola. How you doing? Man, I appreciate you guys being in the live, man. Thank you guys so much. I love seeing y'all's names in the live. So to get started, right? Let us begin. Let us begin, young samurais. So when it comes down to it, fight or flight usually is this is a response to trauma, right? So what do I mean by that? Usually when an individual is in fight or flight, something traumatic is happening to them. Something is going on to ensure. My bad, I'm just proud of him. Proud of who? What happened? What you mean? Explain yourself, Pepsi Cola. So it usually follows some sort of traumatic experience in your life, right? So what do I mean by that? When life begins to put you in a spin cycle, when it begins to put you in position to where you gotta like react versus direct, when it puts you in a place where you have to when you have to respond versus direct, you're now in a place where you're in fight or flight, right? So I'm gonna give you an example, right? You could be having a discussion with somebody that knows you personally. And this could be an individual that knows a weak spot and or knows a trigger. Now, if you are a naive individual, certain nerves can get struck at any time. If you're hearing my voice, make sure you like the video, comment, and subscribe. If you're hearing my voice, make sure you like the video, comment, and subscribe. Higor, how are you? Sahuri, how you doing? Trutelbrax, how you doing? Bonne nuit. Bonne nuit. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Abdul. Anyway, you have to be careful when you're dealing with individuals that know you and your triggers, right? Because being in fight or flight because life is putting you into fight or flight is one thing. But being in fight or flight because you're putting yourself into fight or flight or another human being is putting you into fight or flight, that's very dangerous. And I'm going to explain to you why it's dangerous. This life is about control. If you move smart and if you learn yourself as a human being, then you can put yourself in a position where you're always in control of you and how you feel. If you're not careful though, your environment and certain peoples in your environment, energy workers and demons and narcissists and blah, blah, the fuck, blah. Mind you, these are all people that you have to give power, by the way. These type of people don't affect you unless you give them the power. But patterns are also a big thing in this life. And when somebody sees a pattern, they're gonna strike that nerve. if that makes sense. So, fight or flight. How can you defeat fight or flight? Or how do you avoid it? What keeps deleting? What are you talking about? What is deleting? I don't know what your first comment said. I just know you said, my bad, I'm just proud of him. I don't know who you were proud of. I was trying to ask you, who are you proud of? I don't know if that's what you're talking about. So, zip car. So look, it's important to understand that control is the best way to fight off fight or flight, if that makes sense. You want to be in a position where you are patient with yourself and you understand that reality is what it is and there's not a lot of changing. You can't really change reality immediately all the time. If you have the resources, if you could do that, then you could do that. Excuse me. But 9 times out of 10, when shit is happening, you jog out like sit in it and you have to weather the storm. But the best people on earth, or the people with a lot of success, these are people that I believe they're not in fight or flight as much. The reason why I say that is because there's often like a calmness or a nonchalance that comes with being an individual that has everything under control. When you know what it is, nothing can sway you from what it is. When you have everything set up to like what it needs to be, nothing can veer you from that. No comment, no slight, no disrespect. Nothing will push you away from that. Yeah, tag me. I'll go look at the edits. I haven't been on YouTube as much, But please tag me on the videos and I'll go look. I always check out the channel. It's been a while though, so yeah, just tag me. Be careful of fight or flight, because when it comes down to it, right? When you're in a position where you're panicked, your judgment's always going to be off. Seriously. And I say that from experience. All of my worst decisions in life came when I made a decision under panic, when I felt like I had to make a decision within a time frame, when I felt like I didn't have any time, when I felt like the control was not in my hands. That's when I made all my worst decisions. All my best decisions came when I knew what it was and I just allowed myself to be. And this is another thing I would advise, right? Getting to know yourself. And for me, I learned the most about myself when I was dolo, by myself. Does that make sense? I learned self being by myself. And that being said, I'll say this, right? I still don't know myself 100%. I'm only 24. I don't believe that you ever know yourself while you're on this earth. I think you finally get to know yourself well when you're gone. That's my belief. I think that you can walk a straight line or like a path while you're here. You can have an idea, but it's all pretend at the end of the day. Everybody's pretending to know what it is. Nobody know what it is, to be honest with you. Even the people that have it all put together, these are very good actors. They just realize that this life is a movie and I gotta play this role consistently. So, when it comes down to it, fight or flight is something we want to avoid at all costs. But I'll say this, sometimes it is good. If you're in a dangerous situation, you do want to tap into fight or flight. Somebody is trying to rob you. for the most part, you want to. I mean, don't get shot. Like, don't get hit. You hear me? Like, don't do that. Like, don't try to be a hero and try to punch a nigga with a gun or run too fast. Cause a hunter, like, think about a prey and a predator. A cat, like a big cat, when it sees you, not like if you look at a big cat. Well, look, if you're looking at a big cat, that nigga gonna crush you. Like, there's not much you can do to stop a big cat from crushing you if it wants to crush you. But the best thing you can do is charge at it while it's charging at you. Because when you're running towards it, it might get to thinking like, oh, this nigga might be too much. Does that make sense? Like, oh, like, I might not be able to bring this thing down. This thing isn't even scared. But if you turn your back on it, you gave that demon, the demonic cat, your whole neck. It got a whole target, the back of your, you feel me? They get the on your cerebellum. Now your medulla oblongata is mush mush. Now your body done limped out. You like this and shit. The nigga dragging you up a tree. He got ha. He going up the jump, you feel me? Going up the tree and shit. You know, dragging your big ass body up the jump. And that's not what you want. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. You want to be in fight or flight sometimes, but control, I would say, is the best. I'll say it's the best. You wanna lean towards control more. It will bring the best outcomes, to be honest with you. When you're a controlled spirit, it's better for you. Yo, you know what's crazy though? I'm about to get vulnerable real quick. Why are overdraft fees a thing? You feel me? Like, how can you charge me for something, right? How you gonna charge me for something? You know I don't got it. And then you just let the John go through anyway, right? And if you're gonna let the John go through, how you gonna charge me for being overcharged? You already know I don't got it. So if you know I don't got it, how you gonna double charge a nigga that don't got it? Ain't that, like, that's weird. That's weird as shit. You gonna charge a nigga once. The nigga already didn't have his shit. Then you gonna try to charge the nigga again? As punishment for not having his shit? Bro, overdraft should be illegal in this country. You know what I realized too? Bro, America really... Bro, this is a country that really capitalizes off of niggas that don't got it. Or they capitalize off of niggas that like... That just like... If you're on the cusp of like being alright and not alright, how you doing? If you're on the cusp of being alright and not alright, bruh, nigga, that's where they want you. They want you on the tight ropes. They want you walking on that bitch like this. That shit crazy. I'm not gonna lie, bruh. This shit crazy, bro. They want you on the tight ropes. They want you on the tight ropes out here. And then once you there, like, the goal is to keep you there. Man, this shit is discouraging sometimes. You're like, damn, like, oh shit. She look all right. And I'm not even farsighted, you hear me? I'm going off a frame. I'm going off a frame. You hear me? I'm going off a frame. Oh, man. I'll say this, right? When it come down to it, when it really come down to it, move slower with your reactions. Think it through more. Think it through more. Like, the slower you move, the better the outcome most of the time. The less reactive you are, the better it can be for you, for the most part. Because when you're too reactive, you're putting yourself in a place where everything around you controls you. And that's very dangerous. You want to control everything around you. You don't want everything around you controlling you. Because that's when you become a victim. And I believe this, right? In this life, you can be a victim or a victor. In this life, you can be a victim or a victor. If you are not careful, you put yourself in a lot of situations where you're a victim. And if you're really not careful, you'll get used to these situations where you're a victim. I repeat, if you are not careful, you'll put yourself in situations where you're a victim. And if you're really not careful, you'll stay in the situations where you're a victim. So avoid victim mentality. You are not a victim, you are a victor. I repeat, you are not a victim, you are a victor. And all that you do, you can win. And all that you do, you can win. There is no outcome where you can't win. There is no outcome where you can't get out of it. You can win anything. You can do anything. You can push yourself to make it anywhere. This life is not for you to give up. This life is not for you to be in a position where you succumb to your environment and you tell yourself you can't do it. You gotta keep going. I don't gotta laugh. Sorry about that, man. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I do got a light. Here you go. You got it?
Okay.
You got it? Oh.
Okay. We are like.
Hey, man, it's whatever. What you got?
I'm good.
You good? All right, ma. All right, so look. You can't be in a position where you can't get out of it, right? You can get out of any situation you put yourself into. You hear me? You could get yourself out of any position that you're placed into. I'll say the way you do it though, the way you get out of these situations that are difficult, it comes down to you being in a position, or it comes down to you slowing time down, if that makes sense. You gotta slow time down. You gotta slow time down because look, when shit is moving fast or when it feels like it's moving fast, you can't really like make calculated, cool, calm, and collected decisions. And even if you do, you're not gonna do it to the best of your ability. You gotta be in a position where you slow it down because once you slow time down, now you can put yourself in a position where you react better. You react with a clear conscience, if that makes sense. A clear conscience. But it starts with you though. It starts with getting out of that victim mentality. Victims are always in fight or flight. A victim is always going to be in fight or flight, no matter what. Because a victim feel like they got to prove it. A victim always going to feel like they got to prove something. And I'm talking to myself too, like, a lot of the advice that I'll kick out, bro, is advice that I need to hear for myself. And that's why it's coming out of my mouth. You don't want to be a victim. You have to be a victor. You have to be victorious. Victory comes with those that are prepared, like the ones that did heavy preparation. The ones that move with heavy preparation, those are the ones that can be victorious in many different situations. Because at the end of the day, you didn't seen it before. If you're not seeing the specific thing, you're seeing something similar. And that's how you can know that, like, all right, bet, like, I can win. It's no shame in failure either, right? Like, a victim always feels ashamed. For the most part, a victim is gonna feel ashamed because in their head, they're the only ones suffering, or they're the only ones not winning. And that's not the case, bro. We're all out here struggling. There's a lot of people out here that are losing. What are you gonna do to change it? Put a diamond, that's hilarious. What are you gonna do to change your situation for the better? How are you gonna stop yourself from folding every time? What makes you different than all the other people in this life that are suffering? Why should Allah bless you versus them? You know what I'm saying? These are the questions you gotta ask yourself. Like, what makes me different? Have I learned the lessons that I'm supposed to learn? Am I practicing patience? Do I move with love? Those type of questions. Because when you ask those type of questions, you're gonna get the answer. But you don't get those answers unless you ask yourself those questions. And you don't ask those questions unless you get yourself out of victim mentality. You have to decide you want to win. Once you decide you want to win, that's where that dialogue start to kick in. That's when you start to tell yourself, like, all right, bet, like, nigga, if I want to win, I gotta figure out, why am I doing this over and over again? Why am I doing this over and over again? And why am I putting myself in a situation where I can lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it really comes down to.
I don't need your credit.
I love DC, bro. My soul, I love DC. DC is the best place ever, bro. My soul. He said, I don't need your credit. Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, man. All right. So I hope I'm making sense. Let me show y'all something. Shout out to Clarissa Shield. Clarissa Shield. You see that shit? That's hard. Shout out to Clarissa. Saying. So look, when it come down to it, right? A victor and a victim, right? A victor and a victim. That's a mentality. A victor and a victim, at the end of the day, is a mentality. To avoid fight or flight, at the end of the day, it's a mentality. You have to tell yourself that I can win, no matter what the situation is. You have to tell yourself I can win. When you tell yourself you can win, my nigga, your brain, you start to train your brain to like look at other things that can help you towards the win. And you gotta ask yourself questions. You gotta ask yourself them hard questions. The questions that you don't want to ask yourself, like, all right, if I'm seeing that I'm getting disrespected over and over and over again by this person, why am I so attached to this human being that is making me want to seek out their disrespect? Is it a lack of love for myself? Do I not have pride? These are the real questions you're gonna have to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out something in that, in that light. Because, bruh, Everything is cause and effect at the end of the day. Everything is cause and effect. How you doing, OG? Everything is cause and effect. You're gonna win or you're gonna lose. So you're either gonna win or you're gonna lose. And the only way you can ensure those things is by trying. But when you try, you put yourself out there to lose. But listen, losing isn't the end all be all. Like, it's okay to lose. In fact, I encourage niggas to lose. I encourage niggas to lose because, nigga, when you lose, you learn. There's always two L's. And they always say two L's make a W. Right? There's always two L's that come in life when the loss comes. It's the loss, and then it's the lesson. What you learn from it. So you should seek out losing every now and then. Well, you should seek out attempting. And if losing is the outcome, you don't quit. You continue. And you have to get outside of victim mentality. You are not a victim. You are a winner. You are a victor. Victim is a mindset. That's when you accept your reality for what it is. You're like, you know what? Oh man, it sucks. And that's just that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what that's not what this is. Like, can't be a victim. You have to be a victor. You have to push yourself. You have to want more for yourself. You understand? So that's my message. I'm here, I'm walking around the city. I wanted to go on a walk today. So I'm filming my walk. Guys, I still been making music. Don't think I retired, bro. I'm still making music. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm still in my duffel, in my bag. I just haven't been able to record the process as much. But we still working. We're still doing the job. We're still doing what we gotta do. And one thing, I'll just say this, right? Don't give up when it get hard. Go harder. Whatever it is that you're going through, or whatever it is that you may be seeing or feeling, you know, if you were doing something and you're seeing that it's getting harder to do it, quitting only makes your situation worse. Quitting only makes your situation worse. It only makes your situation worse when you quit. It's not an option for you gotta keep going. Because when you keep going, bro, you're opening up the window for more outcomes, if that makes sense. When you stop, that's when you shut off all the outcomes. You can't get another outcome because you ain't putting no more work in. You're not adding coal to the fire. So the fire can't spread no more. The energy can't keep going. I hope you guys are taking the message in though, like for real, for real. I hope you guys are actually taking the message in. I really hope you guys are taking the message in. So I'm gonna keep going though. You guys gotta push yourself. You gotta push yourself. You gotta push yourself. You gotta keep going. You gotta tell yourself you can do it. Giving up is not an option, bro. You have to push yourself. It's all about mentality and how you think about the situation. When you tell yourself, I can't win, then you're not gonna win. If you tell yourself, nigga, I'm gonna win regardless, I don't give a fuck what's in front of me, then you gonna win. That's just what it is. That really is like, it's really that. It's not that simple, but it's that simple. It's about how much fire or coal that you put into the fire. You gotta put coal into the fire. You have to, bro. If you don't put coal into the fire, you can't expect nothing to come out of it. You can't, bro. It's not. You're not gonna do nothing. Giving up don't do shit for you. So push yourself every day. When you lose, keep your head up. Because when you keep your head up, bro, you're telling God, you're telling whoever, God, Allah, the universe, you're telling that entity that I want you to keep throwing shit my way. Whether it's good or bad, keep throwing shit my way. And I'm going to learn. The best thing you could do on this earth is learn. It's just like the best thing you could do is learn. You gotta learn. You gotta learn, bro. You gotta learn. And the only way you learn is when you keep going. You gotta keep learning, bro. You gotta keep pushing yourself.